To finish up Chapter 10, we're just going to look a little bit at the physiology of contractions. So let's look at isotonic versus isometric. So isotonic, we're changing the muscle length. Isometric, it stays the same. So here, isotonic, concentric is when you're shortening the muscle. Eccentric is when it's lengthening, but you're still doing work. So like when you do an like a sit-up, when you lower yourself down slowly, it still takes a lot of work. That's eccentric. And then there's isometric, holding that book in place. So your muscle isn't changing length, but that gets really hard to do after a few seconds. So it's still a lot of work. Effects of exercise. So aerobic endurance, that would be like jogging for a long time. The endurance, you're doing less reps for a longer time. What happens there? You need a lot of oxygen. So you're going to increase the capillaries to that area. You're also going to increase the number of mitochondria, so they could take the oxygen and make ATP. So they'll have, runners who want to win races. They'll work out in low oxygen levels, so they'll make even more capillaries and more mitochondria, more red blood cells, so they can carry the oxygen better too. And then resistance exercise, those are the quick sprints, a few reps of really hard, heavy weights. You'll see the muscles get bigger. The fiber size will increase. You'll get more contractile proteins there. They'll also have more myofilaments overall and more connective tissue. And overload principle is that you have to keep working your muscles harder to keep changing them. So if you start working out and you work out and it's really hard for you to lift 5-pound weights, after a while it becomes pretty easy. So if you want your muscles to get bigger, you need to challenge them more. They're already overcoming your obstacle quite well. So you'd have to go on to heavier weights and heavier to keep seeing more changes. And then what happens to our muscle tissue as we age? As we age, we generally lose muscle tissue. Now that's going to depend on how active we are, but you'll see more and more muscle tissue replaced with connective tissue and fat tissue. So we're not as strong or flexible. We become slower. Okay, great.